Gabriel Marcus, members of the Commission, members of the media. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here this morning to actually hand over a piece of equipment that is as a result of consultations between the Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment, the GGDMA, and the Guyana Police Force. These equipment is actually intended to improve the efficiency of the Guyana Police Force as it relates to providing security in the hinterland areas. We all aware as in recent times the amount of security issues in the hinterland has been escalating, and the Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment, working with the Ministry of Affairs and the Guyana Police Force directly, has been trying to come up with a number of initiatives towards addressing this problem. And today's donation is part of such initiative. I would like to invite first and foremost Mr. Gabriel Marcus on behalf of the GGDMA to give us some brief remarks, followed by the Commissioner of Police and then our Minister himself.
Good morning, Honorable Minister Robert Broussard, Commissioner of Police, Mr. Bromel, Assistant Commissioner Mr. Balaram and Mr. Primo, Commissioner of DGMC Acting, Mr. Vera, other senior officials of GGMC, friends, members of the media. This initiative was taken after a divisional commander of the ENF division, Assistant Commissioner Primo, where a set of ideas and efforts to improve the security of miners were discussed. During those discussions, Mr. Primo pointed out to the GGDMA that willing as the police force would have been to work with us the way we would have liked them to work with us, as a result of the lack of resources, their work could not be all to our expectation. As the GGDMA and the mining industry usually do, we embark on assisting ourselves to help the Guyana Police Force to execute their duty in providing security for the miners and for the interior locations. Several areas were identified, and immediately we thought that communication was one of the most important, since when you have ranks out there, in order to evaluate their performance, to have them to work effectively, we need to be in communication with them. And as all military or paramilitary organization, the command structure has got to be in place. So the GGDMA took it upon themselves to offer the assistance to the Guyana Police Force. Several forms of assistance, this being the first one. I think I could say that we're also looking forward to offering assistance in the Bartica Police Station being provided with solar panels and an electrical system, so in the case of blackout, that station would have lights and will still be able to function normally. We're also looking, perhaps, after evaluating the performance of the ranks and staff in the bush, to have them be awarded initiatives and incentives so they can continue to perform. So just to give you those few highlights, and with an effort to continue to work in the interest of the security of the nation, and more so the security of the miners, I want to say to you that the GGDMA stands ready, continue ready, to assist the Guyana Police Force and any other agency that performs a service or offers a service that is in aid of a better mining industry. With these few words, I would like to say again, welcome, and we're happy that we were able to perform this piece of kind activity. Thank you.
Honorable
GGMC, members of the media. I have my support from my officers here. Commander ENF. I want to say I'm receive this gift on behalf of Guyana Police Force. I must let you all know that the interior, because of the rising gold, has become kind of dangerous. I'm going to say dangerous. I don't want to scare persons from going into the interior to do the work, because we have to do our mining. I know there are a number of initiatives up to this morning. I saw a document where it was asked to some officers to go into the interior. I've already dealt with that, and I've addressed it already to Commander ENF for action. I must say, unlike the coast, we know the interior, the contour, the land. Sometimes to get to an area, if there's an incident, you have to take a number of days. You have to either use water. And I think the presenting of this ATV and the satellite phone where we can make easy contact will help us in the fight against crime. In ENF division or in the interior area, for this year we have something like 46 firearms found. We had something like 23 murders. And I think with this here, and I do hope that between now and year end it doesn't increase. I know the commander is working assiduously along with the GGMC and other stakeholders to make the interior region very safe. I cannot, it would be remiss of me if I don't mention about the 2 ranks who were killed earlier in the interior. I want it to be known that that is not swept under the map. We're doing investigations, and when the perpetrators are caught, they will be brought to justice. Once more, I want to, on behalf of the Guyana Police Force, thank Minister Yu and your other representatives for this great for this presentation here to us. Thank you.
All right.
Gracious presentation.
Thank you very much, and good morning, everyone. Former Secretary, the Commissioner, Acting President of the GGDMA, also the Commissioner of the GGMC, and our other senior staff. On the score, how we view the need for enhanced security in our hinterland, particularly in our mining districts. As much as we want to celebrate and promote mining, we also want to ensure that our miners can operate activity in a very safe environment. And the primary agency responsible for that is the Guyana Police Force. And I must say that at the level of the GGMC board and the ministry, we've set up what we call a committee, a security committee, which has been meeting not only with the Guyana Police Force, but we've also involved the Guyana Defence Force, the GGDMA, and other relevant stakeholders. And this issue has been a burning issue, and we've heard the statistics as related by the Commissioner Acting, and certainly should give us a cause for worry. But not only for us to worry, but also give us a cause to intensify and widen and deepen our efforts in this regard. And I know that, as a country, the ability of the state to fully resource its agency can be constrained. And that is why, as good citizens, as good organizations, and as responsible stakeholders, we all must step forward in making a contribution and, as it were, enhance our ability and our capabilities. So it is one thing for us to say, well, the police need to do much more, and then we have the means of helping the police, and we're not doing anything. But what we see here today is a demonstration by one, the mining community through the GGDMA, our agency coming together and making this type of support. This is a substantial support. We have 2 satellite phones. We also have an ATV. The satellite phones are not only just phones, we have also put minutes in them, close to 300 to 500 minutes, 500 minutes each in them. So we hope that the police will also replenish credit because that's a current expenditure. That's not a capital. So not when the minutes are out, you get a call from the commissioner. Can you stop us up? Because we don't have a Digicel or a GTAP cell point here. But we have so we have enough minutes to carry you through this period. But I want to say that the issue of security in our hinterland for the government is a very top priority. The Minister of Home Affairs, the President himself, I even know at the level of the Defense Board, there'll be much discussions as to how it is we can look at new and additional arrangements. One of the important areas that we'll have to look at is where we have the presence of police and in terms of police outposts. Because given the expanding nature of the mining, we've seen that perhaps mining has moved away from where you have fixed presence. And we'll have to collaborate with the police force in looking at how it is we can establish more checkpoints as well as greater presence in this regard. We've always encouraged, and I know the GGDMA has always encouraged its members to ensure that our mining operations and our camps are free of elements who may be inclined to break the law. And I know many of the miners and the operators in themselves have been cooperating with the police force. And I want to reiterate that and also to call on all those who operate within the hinterland, within the mining district, to play their part. Because at the end of the day, we have to ensure that we make mining not only safe, secure, environmentally friendly, but if we get all of those elements satisfied, we will continue to make this sector a thriving one. This year would be, in fact, an historic one for mining. But we also have to ensure that with this historic level of production and earnings to the country, that we do so not at the cost of lives, not at the cost of assets, and also of the reputation of the mining community. I was bemoaning the fact that I read an editorial a couple of days ago where there is an attempt to portray mining as being synonymous with lawlessness. And all of us, all stakeholders must combat that perception. And we must not only combat that perception by saying it is not true, we must combat that perception by what we do and, as it were, taking steps and demonstrating the types of commitment that we are doing here today. I want to thank the GGDMA for its support in this regard. I know in discussions with Mr. Harding, and we heard from Mr. Marcus, that there are plans to work more with the police, giving more resources. I want to say from the ministry through the GGMC, we've heard about a request for a boat and engine, and I want to say that we will be discussing that more with you because we're very serious. If that will make our miners safer, will make mining safe in Guyana, we are willing, as it were, to further commit resources in this regard. So I do hope, and I'm quite sure, that our police force will cooperate with in the field. I also want to appeal to the police force and also and by extension even the Ministry of Home Affairs, issues that need to be addressed and addressed very early. For instance, we have several miners would say that they've applied for firearm and they're not getting their firearm. And I'm not one of those who will say that someone who's breached the law or is incapable of having a firearm license should be granted. But if they're satisfied, we should deal with that expeditiously. Also, in more or less, reach out to the mining community. The president, during a visit to the mining camps in Mining Week, suggested that even in the mining areas that we have community policing groups. And I want to urge the Guyana Police Force to work with us and see whether or not we can pursue that initiative. So we also want a very responsive policing security sector to the needs of our miners in this regard. And we will work with you, and that is our commitment, and this here today is a demonstration of that commitment. So I'm quite sure this will certainly contribute to a safer mining environment, and I appeal to other stakeholders and other miners and others who want to make a contribution away from doing so, because we need to do much more, and we need more resources in this regard. Once again, Commissioner, I'm quite sure you and your officers will make full use of this. And I wish to present this. Come. Come on, you I'll take the movement back.
Closer, just spread out a little bit. Just come in a little closer. Yeah.
Store of the proceedings already was.
Yeah, good. All right. Thanks. Thanks very much. Nice. All right. Thanks.
So that's it. Everyone happy?